and welcome back to my channel. I'm continuing with the astrology series like I've been doing recently, and we're up to Libra rising. And if you haven't seen these videos before, what I do is I look into 4 astrology decks to see what energies you'll be that would help for you to look into to navigate the month ahead of February this month, and also to do with your chart, the aspects and things that might be happening in your chart that you might want to take a little bit of a look at and work with. So anyway, we're going to be, I will have all the decks in the description box if you're interested in looking any of them up. But yeah, so we're starting with 4 of the astrology decks, which I've been using the same decks for a while now. And then after that, we'll be getting some numerology guidance for you guys for the month of February. Then we'll get some notes from the universe on abundance and get some abundance messages. That's always helpful. And then after that, we will look into some guardian angel messages for you guys to finish off the reading and see what they want you to know for February. So before I get right into it, you probably would have heard that the 3 planets that were in retrograde aren't in retrograde anymore. But as I've said in other videos, when a planet is in retrograde, there's always a time prior to the retrograde and after the retrograde where you'll still feel those energies. And what it's called is a pre-shadow. And then there's the retrograde phase, and then there's a post-shadow. And they can be anywhere from a couple of weeks to a couple of months, depending on the planet that's retrograde. Because, say, with Mercury retrograde, it's a couple of weeks either side. That'll be the shadows as well as the actual retrograde time itself, because it's a fast-moving planet. But something like, say, Pluto, and it'll be retrograde for quite some time. So that'd be more than a couple of weeks in its shadow phase. So yeah, anyway, so the Mars, Mercury, and Uranus were in retrograde. They're not anymore, but as I'm filming this, they're all in their post-shadow phase, so you'll still feel effects from them. But Mercury should be out of the post-shadow phase about a week into February. I didn't look up the exact time, so but Mercury will be finished his post-shadow phase and completely out of any retro after the first week in February. The other 2 are probably the majority of February. They might still be in their post-shadow phase. They are still at the moment, but yeah, I always forget to look this sort of stuff up so I could get it, read it to you. But no, I keep forgetting to look things like that up for extra information. But anyway, so let's get into the cards for you and see what energies you might find helpful to work with to navigate February this year, 2023. We start with the 12th house here. And for Libra rising, your 12th house is obviously the sign before Libra, which is Virgo. So Virgo's in your 12th house. Okay. And 12th house is Piscean type themes. Neptune rules Pisces. Mercury rules Virgo and Gemini. So there might be some sort of how would I put it? 12th house is about spirituality, but there's a positive and negative to each sign and house. The houses are each house will have a particular sign theme as well. Like I said, the theme is Piscean, the 12th astrological sign, but it's not in Pisces for you, so it's a mix of Virgo and Pisces together. Now, this is an asteroid, Juno. We'll look into the guidebook with some of this too, because although some of it's self-explanatory, other bits might not be. Mercury, well, we mentioned him, and you should be fine with Mercury after the first week of February, because he'll be completely... Oh, another asteroid, Eros. Okay. All right. That's interesting. Wow, another asteroid, Psyche. So you've got a bit of asteroids to look at. You might want to look into your chart if you have a particular site that you prefer to go to. See if they have the option to include asteroids, and then you can see where Juno, Eros and Psyche might be in your chart. 6th house. Well, isn't that interesting, because Virgo is in your 12th. And 6th house is Virgo themes. 6th house for you would be, where would 6th house be? Pisces. Ah, yeah, of course. 6/12, yeah, duh. Yeah, wow. So you've got the, okay. And that's funny because it's right from one side to the other. Like, and these guys in the middle. So we'll have a quick look into the asteroids. I'll read Mercury as well. I mean, it might be reiterating that Mercury will be completely direct after the first week of February, which means Mercury will be working in our favour no matter what sign we are. We'll jump into the asteroids. First was Juno. Where are you, Juno? There. Okay. Yeah, so if you have a particular place you go to generate a free chart, just look into the types of how do you put it? There's different types of systems, and within those, if it has options, whether it's Placidus is a system that's not whole sign houses. And what whole sign houses is this, where they're absolute 30 degrees in every single sign. Placidus will jump in between the houses, so you'll see a sign will be not completely covered by the full house, if that makes sense. So sometimes people can find that confusing, but there's also sidereal, then there's topocentric sidereal, which I actually favour because it actually uses the visible sky if you look into a telescope and the actual size of the constellations, rather than having them all in 30-degree perfect little sections, because that's not how the sky is. Anyway, let's read Juno. When Juno appears in a reading, it is time to take a look at your relationship. I thought so, because Eros is about, pretty much sexual things. We'll read it anyway. Time to take a look at your relationship and evaluate what is working and what is not. Make sure your focus is not only on the history of this relationship, but also the possible future of it. Juno never makes a flippant or sudden decision. She looks at every possible angle of a situation. It's the perfect time to make a list of the pros, cons, or indiscretions. Is your partner meeting your needs? Are you meeting their needs? If your partner strives for stability and you want excitement, how are you going to balance these desires? If you are not partnered up, this is a great time to do some self-reflection on what you bring to the table, the boundaries you want to set, or even if you want to be in a romantic relationship at all. Yeah, I might move the light a bit because I was finding it wasn't really lighting up for me to be able to... Now, Mercury is not an asteroid, obviously. Mercury is a planet. I think we'll read Mercury after we finish with the asteroids. I think we'll do it that way because I've already picked up that these two have to do with some type of relationship thing. And Psyche is probably also touching on that too, I think. Okay, where are we? We're up here somewhere. Eros. There we go. Okay. Eros in a reading indicates our subconscious desires about what we are looking for in a mate. Yes. So I think we'll see what else comes through, but it looks like it might have something to do with relationships, even though you've got 12th and 6th house, which neither of them are actually particularly specifically relationship related. You'd be looking at the 7th house in Libra themes for that, which Libra is your rising sign. Anyway, yeah. If you are unattached, his appearance can signal that you are ready for commitment and need to get in touch with the attributes you want in a partner. If you're in a relationship, you may need to make more time for your partner and reconnect on a spiritual and sexual level. Yeah, I thought it was about sex. Alternatively, Eros asks us to look deep inside ourselves and find our passion. See, that's another thing. It may be more about what you're passionate about rather than the sexual side of things, because they're kind of interlinked in a way, because you've got the 5th and the 7th house have a sort of sex type theme as well. With the 5th house, it's children, romance, creativity, love affairs. With the 8th house, Scorpio, the 5th house is Leo themes, and the 8th house is Scorpio themes, and that's more about taboos, sex, credit cards, debts. It's the darker side of things, whereas the 5th house is the lighter side of things. What were we up to? Sorry, I keep going on tangents. Alternatively, Eros asks us to look deep inside ourselves and find our passion. It could be romantic love. It could be healthcare. It could be sports, anything. What matters is that it lights your soul on fire. This asteroid wants us to realize our dreams, as they are what keeps us going. Yeah, dreams. See, that's a thing as well. That's Piscean Neptune, and Pisces was in your 6th house. Didn't we work that out? Because they're completely opposite. So that's funny, because the 6th house is Virgo themes, 12th house is Pisces themes, but you've got Virgo there and Pisces there. So it's kind of like there's a balance. All right, Psyche's right here. We'll read up on Psyche now. Psyche points to other people's expectations of us. Who we are and how we should behave is suddenly a topic of conversation. The empathic side of you might be internalizing this, but like the adage says, other people's opinion of you is none of your business. Don't be concerned about it. Your intuition is very heightened right now. It's as though you can feel the emotions of everyone around you. You have the gift of sensitivity, and this allows you to turn even the worst feelings into beauty and positivity. Lead by example and show that kindness goes further than spite. I always harp on this because every time I come across this last part in the Psyche, if I pull the Psyche card, lately I've been always thinking about Mars being in retro. And like I said, even though he's technically not in retro anymore, he's got his post-shadow phase. So there's still going to be frustrations which can still affect our regular communication, even though Mercury is the communicating planet. So trying to see, sometimes by knowing that those energies are around, we can then take a step back and go, right, okay, if something seems to be a bit heated or someone's being a bit prickly, take a step back, take a breath and see if we can go back to it later if need be, because we know that those energies are around, so we know to keep away from that so it doesn't escalate and make things difficult for us, if that makes sense. Okay, Mercury. Let's see what he has to say. If you have been expecting news or communication about an important issue, it's right around the corner. When you receive it, be sure to logically weigh the pros and cons before sending back your answer. Yeah, because everything's in post-shadow phase as well. So this is the time, which I didn't explain that, when they're in post-shadow, it's the time to take stock of what information from each of the planets has brought, what sort of information has come to us while the planets were in retrograde. And then we sort of take stock of it all and make plans to work out which way we want to go forward with anything, or if we want to leave something behind, or, you know, so that we've got that information to work with once the post-shadow phase ends, and then we can make our decisions from there. Yeah. Okay. When you receive it, be sure to logically weigh the pros and cons before sending back your answer. The due diligence is key when Mercury is involved. Our brain is an amazing organ. It keeps the rest of our body working. It tells our heart when to beat. It makes sure we eat food and drink water, and it lets us communicate our needs. Mercury in a reading signals that you must make those needs known. Not expressing yourself leads to a build-up of anxiety. You can't expect other people to read your mind. There is a theory that we are the product of our thoughts, that we cannot exist without them, but we know that isn't true. A person in a vegetative state exists, but they don't have the capacity to reason or think. Thoughts can be a conscious action. Positive ones can lead to a positive attitude, and negative ones lead to a negative attitude. Right. Okay, so we've definitely got stuff about relationships and where you want to go with it. Mercury's involved in the communication planet, and as I said, we're in the post-shadow phase as I'm saying this anyway, as I'm recording this. And keep in mind that you shouldn't worry about what other people think. Because the whole point really is other people's opinions are based on their own life experience. They haven't lived your life for you, and you haven't lived your life for them. So they're going to make their opinions. Everyone's always got an opinion, whether it's positive or negative. Someone's always got an opinion about something. And so there, if you can keep in mind that that's from their own life experience, whether the opinion is right or wrong. So it doesn't necessarily mean that it's got anything to do with you whatsoever. If it happens to be an opinion about you, it's still got nothing to do with you because it's their opinion. I mean, someone can say, someone can have an opinion that all dogs have wings in their fur. Now that sounds ridiculous, but someone's opinion, they might believe that's true, where it's not true, kind of thing. That might be a silly analogy, but what I'm trying to say is it doesn't necessarily mean that someone else's opinion is right, but they might think they're right, but it doesn't have to don't allow it to be your story. You don't have to take that on board. Okay, let's keep going. Neptune. Neptune's the ruler of Pisces, 12th house themes. So I'm not surprised. You might want to see if there's any, we'll see if there's any aspects that come through, but so far we've got Neptune and Mercury. Pisces, okay, 12th house, definitely something going on for your 12th house. I didn't read the little excerpt. I kind of explained it a little bit before, because the negative side of the Pisces 12th house is fears and self-sabotage. You don't need to be fearful of other people's opinions, and you have the right to choose what you want in a relationship of any kind, not necessarily just romantic. And this, even though I did say about the sexual side of it, it might be the creativity side of things that's actually coming through for you. Okay, this one is Neptune. Your fantasies, yearnings, longings, and potential for illusion. See, illusion and self-sabotage can happen. So it's something to be aware of. And Pisces, so you've really like, this is tripling down. So you've got 12th house Pisces themes, Pisces in 6th house, Neptune rules Pisces, and you've got Pisces in this card as well. Okay, so this one says, the energy is wistful, endlessly loving, compassionate, and forgiving. It confuses and softens resolve. And the next one here is a house card. The 6th house. Oh my gosh, you can't make this stuff up. 6th house, Virgo themes, which Pisces is in. Okay, so I think we've got a pretty strong indication of where you might be needing to look in your chart for February. The work, health, and daily life. The work, health, and duty area of your life, yeah. Duty and service to others. Health, duty, service to others. That's Virgo themes, which is in Pisces for you in the 6th house. Okay. No way. I honestly, I promise I shuffled these really well. Ascendant, well, that's your Libra sign. Rising sign, ascendant, outlook. And it's how the world sees you pretty much. Pisces, the mystic. So, yeah, so there might be something to do with psychic abilities. Might be what you need to focus on. What's this one? Sextile. Well, that's an aspect, and that's a good aspect. Sextiles and trines are the easier aspects. And look, this says opportunity. So even though it might have seemed like some things were a slight bit negative, they're not at all. Because I think that we're getting the good side of, and the balance, and Libra's all about balance. You know this, you're a Libran. You know, you've got Libra rising. So you've got the balance of 12th house Virgo with 6th house Pisces. Virgo and Pisces all the way through. Okay, so now we're on to these cards. And if you haven't seen this before, these cards can have reversals. They've got upright and reversals. And if it's upright, it's in the guidebook, it's considered the gift. And if it's in reverse, it's the challenge. But don't be too worried if you get any reversals, because not every challenge is a difficult thing. Maybe, you know how sometimes people like to challenge themselves in some way. Might just be that. Challenge yourself to open up to your psychic abilities, perhaps. Dignified. See, that's upright, that's gift, and it says strength. Pluto, that's in reverse. Rebirth. Sorry, it's a bit dark there. It's in reverse, so it's a challenge. Not necessarily bad. I've got a feeling it won't be, actually. I think it's probably just challenging you in that sense to be open to the rebirth, the birthing of this psychic ability. Pallas Athena is also in reverse. She's an asteroid, and we'll read about her in the guidebook too. In the challenge position, again, not necessarily negative. Conjunction, upright, alliance, that's good. Conjunction's also an aspect. Conjunction means, if you're not already aware, it just means one of the sections being a house. If there's 2 or more planets in that section, it's called a conjunction. If there's 3 or more, it's called a stellium, which is even stronger and brings out the particular sign that the house is governed by, if you want to put it that way. Like, for instance, 6th house is normally, it's always Virgo themes, but it's governed by Pisces for you. And the same with 12th house is normally Piscean themes, and it's governed by Virgo for you. And that's what that means. Descendant. Okay, that's in challenge mode as well. Invitation. you might be holding yourself back, and I think this is saying it's time to not hold back anymore and not worry what other people think. I think this is what's coming through right now. Okay, so we're going to grab the book and have a look to see. Now, before I read the book, again, if you haven't watched these, what the Descendant is, sorry, I'm reaching all over. I haven't really got a great setup here because the ring light is, the PowerPoint is only in one area, so I can't put it anywhere else. And so that means I have to reach in front of. So anyway, I'll just quickly give you a bit of an idea here. Say this is your birth chart. Always on the left, you'll have your rising sign, aka ascendant. Where was the ascendant? There. Ascendant or rising sign, exactly the same thing, always on your left side. Right across from there, exactly the opposite, that's where your descendant will be, and it's always the opposite sign to your rising sign. So it'll be in Aries for you. Your descendant would be Aries. 7th house Aries, and 7th house is Libra themes. So again, you've got the opposite, see? Because 1st house is Aries themes, hence why people's rising sign is what the world sees pretty much first, is the rising sign of the person. And because Aries is the first sign of the zodiac, so Aries themes being in the 1st house all the time, and that's where your rising sign will always be, no matter what sign you are. So your descendant is in 7th house Aries. And the idea is that through life, no matter what signs we are, we need to learn to balance the opposite energies, like, or the opposite themes, like Libra, Aries, Libra rising, Aries, 7th house. We have to balance through our life. We have to balance both of those signs to work in our favour. And it's the same with home life and work life, which hasn't come up. Pluto, there hasn't been any Scorpio either. Okay, well, we'll read 13 dignified. Are they all in the camera shot? I'm not sure if they are. Hopefully they are. Okay, so this is dignified over here. So I'll hold it up so you can see it properly. It's upright, so it's in the gift position. And I'll read it off camera because I can't really see it through the phone. The phone's a terrible, yeah, it's not clear to me. So it's in the gift position. Gift. For weeks, months, or lifetimes, you have prepared for this moment. The muscles you've built in body and soul and the understanding you have accrued are needed here at this time and place. Wow. So yeah, I think that it's about, I keep harping on psychic abilities because there's so much Pisces and Neptune themes, and 6th house. So there's a balance. Finding that balance, which Librans are all about finding balance anyway, so that's nothing new to you. Yeah, balancing health, duty, service with your psychic abilities, and I think there's not really anything negative about it, even with your descendant in the reverse position. Well, your rising sign is, your rising sign is Libra, and Aries is the exact opposite anyway. We'll read Pluto now, which is 27. Sorry, I sort of talk, I talk as I think, and sometimes it might not make sense. I hope it does make sense, but yeah. I just saw dignified, I think. Did I see dignified? I thought I saw dignified somewhere. Okay. So yeah, that actually, because sometimes I take notice if something's sort of caught my eye. I couldn't find it there just then, but dignified is really good. Oh yeah, and look, it's in there as well. Yeah, sorry. I read it and then I moved it and then I saw it again. So it's come back again for a reason. Yeah, I thought that I'd seen it before. Okay. So this is in the challenge position. challenge. Pluto's shadow side can bring up obsession, depression, morality. Oh, wait, sorry, not morality, mortality. Yeah, and grief. Pluto plays hardball, so get a guide for this realm if needed. Yeah, see, because mortality is a Scorpio thing. 8th house. 8th house hasn't come through, but I did mention Scorpio before, didn't I? Why did I mention Scorpio before? I know I did. It's the 2nd house, isn't it, for you? Because, see, Pluto, I think that's why, because Pluto is the ruler of the Scorpio sign, the planetary ruler of the Scorpio sign. And the fact that even though I changed where I was up to in the book, the dignified wanted to come back. So it's really reiterating you are, it's a good energy that's coming through for you for February. Okay, so we've got Pallas Athena, and here it says think, which doesn't surprise me with Mercury in the first week still being in post shadow, so it's still got the tendrils of the retrograde. So I think it's also reiterating that, because this helmet makes me think of Mercury, the god. Anyway, so we've got him in challenge, or Pallas is actually her, and I have not looked her up. Sorry, I was still back in Pluto. There we are. Okay. Sorry, I'm a bit all over the place. I blame the post-shadow phase. Anyway, so we've got the challenge of Pallas Athena. Wherever you are on the gender spectrum, do not think you need to deny or disrespect the feminine, the anima, and the heart in yourself and others in order to access brilliant intelligence and competence. So, yeah, don't deny yourself or others if need be, if they're actually treating you with respect, that is. Yeah, don't deny yourself and others in order to access brilliant intelligence and competence, because you can be competent. It's telling you here right now. Okay, and conjunction is upright, so that's another good energy to back you up. I think you can see that actually. So that's the birds, and that's in the gift position. Okay, this is very quick, this message. A conjunction can become greater than the sum of the parts. Yeah, because maybe you might have a stellium. What did we have here? We've got Pluto, Neptune, and Mercury. As well as some asteroids. You might want to check if any of those asteroids are hitting the 6th or the 12th house, because they're the only 2 houses that have come through. And look, you've got a sextile, so you've got nothing to worry about. Might even be something conjuncting your ascendant, your rising sign in the 1st house, but it's really, really reiterating the 6th and 12th house for you at the moment. Now, descendant, like I said, that's the exact opposite of your ascendant, and that's on number 37. And it's in the challenge position, and I think it's just out of camera view, so I'll bring it over here. Okay, so we've got the challenge of the descendant. You give your power away when instead of working together, you ask others to be what is missing in yourself. Exactly. Don't worry about what other people think. You do not need anyone to move forward with all this. The energies are saying, be open to it, because it's going to be easy. You don't have anything difficult. I mean, yes, these 2 are in, or 3 are in reverse, But that doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing. I mean, we already read them and nothing was really saying things are going to be particularly difficult at all. So I think you're going to have a good month if you're open to balancing service and duty with your spirituality pursuits. I think that's where your focus might be for this month. Okay, so for Libra risers, what numerology guidance could help them out to navigate February 2023? Sorry guys, they're making me go through it quite a bit. Okay, let's go again. Right. Yep. Leadership. Whoa. And look, that's red. You know, they're red coloured. And I said about creativity. 8, I think, is about, well, I think that's to do with money as well. But the only connection there was Pluto being the ruler of Scorpio, which is in your second house. But 8 is also about stability. 1 is about personal power. Together there are 9, beginnings, endings. And 9 is pretty good, actually, because it's also, I think, entertainment. What else is it? It's really when the sun shines. Like in Chinese astrology, if you're going through a 9 year, it's pretty darn lucky. It's a really good year in Chinese astrology. Yeah. Leadership, some form of leadership, balancing those two, the Virgo with the Pisces, some form of leadership. And see, why I went wow with the red is that that's the base chakra. And that's about that's about self-worth. And what's with the second house? It's Taurus themes, money and self-worth, what you value. Is there any other messages for the Libra risers for February? This one? Teaching and learning. Oh, wow. And that's a perfect thing for Virgo themes as well. 57, 5 on its own means freedom. 7 is mind and creativity. Mercury, bang. 5 and 7 together is a 3, which is communication, like the Gemini third house themes. But it's also action, activity. Is there any others here? Or will we move on to the other decks? Wait, you're sticking out too. Okay. Self-discipline. And there we've got 4 as the number of the builder, and we've got personal power again. And another red with the green, which is heart chakra. Self-discipline. So that's a Virgo thing that's going to help you to balance things out, because sometimes with the Neptune Pisces energies, it can be nebulous no matter what signs we are. We've all got some measure of Pisces in our chart. Everyone does. And Pisces themes, Pisces, Neptune, 12th house, can be a bit nebulous and get us a bit head in the clouds kind of thing. So the self-discipline and the leadership will come from the 6th house, which happens to have Pisces in it anyway, and Virgo. So this is a really, really wonderful balance, I think. And for Librans, You guys are all about balancing things, so it's no news to you. But it's going to be, you're going to be balancing the energies really well. It's yours for the taking. Wow. Don't let yourself get pulled into worrying about what other people think. You know, dance to your own tune. Be the leader that you're meant to be, because you can do that. Teaching and learning, leadership, self-discipline. Well, leadership is always about self-discipline too. Oh, you're sticking out. Okay, what have we got? What's our first abundance message for you? Okay, it says, oh, I've been meaning to tell you. Oh, this, by the way, these, if you don't already know, this particular deck is set out as if the universe is actually speaking directly to you, and they've always got quirky messages. So, if you haven't already seen these before, then this is one of the decks I use. So it says, oh, I've been meaning to tell you for the longest time that, well, concerning the illusions, time and space, the stars at night, the earth under your feet, the oceans, the rivers, the prairies, and everything under the sun, they're all yours. Guess I thought you'd have noticed by now. Oh, yes, they are, the universe. It's yours for the taking. Did I not say that just a minute ago until that stuck out? Wow. Oh, this is great. And that's going to, see, even though the second house didn't particularly come through, but Pluto did, so there was that sort of slight connection there with the second house money, self-worth topics. By stepping up and being that leader, teaching and learning, because you've obviously got something people need to learn from you, that's going to give you self-worth, see? It's going to bring you self-worth. Okay, so what have we got here? Really and truly, money just isn't that important. Now, before you have a conniption, by all means pursue it, spend it, and roll around in it, but just don't let it become how the rest of your dreams will come true. I know how. Just dream your dreams. The universe, exactly. I wonder if we're going to get any more. Okay, so any other messages for the Libra risers for February? Abundance messages. Just get this part and then we'll be done. Anything else they need to know? That one looks like it wants to pop out too. Okay. And this says, quick, what's the shortest distance between have and have not, right? What distance? You're there, the universe. You've got it in spades, bam. And jump in. Look, we've got orange as well as the red. The oranges and reds, so it might be as well as your base chakra about the self-worth. It's probably your sacral chakra, I think it's called too, where it's about creativity. And look, you've got the purple next to each other as well. I think you've got the idea now. Jump into your role. It's time you did. Because it's going to empower you. Because sometimes Librans can sort of hide themselves away in a way, be too afraid to get out there and do their thing, depending, of course, on what other aspects you've got in your chart. But, yeah, sometimes Librans might hold back when they really shouldn't. And this is telling you it's time to get up there and lead, teach people and learn whatever you feel you need to learn, but you've got things that people need to learn as well. And you're being asked to step into a teaching role by the leadership of a role at least anyway. Ooh. Okay, well, looks like the guardian angels already want to start talking. Okay, believe. Be open to all possibilities and opportunities, exactly. Let go of preconceived ideas. There is nothing to fear. You are constantly surrounded by love. Start to believe in yourself, yes, and trust your instincts. Wondrous possibilities and opportunities abound, provided you are flexible, which is, I've got a lot of Virgo in my chart, so being flexible is a difficulty for me anyway. So I understand that. Okay, so wondrous possibilities and opportunities abound, provided you are flexible and retain an open heart and mind. Believe all is possible, and it is. Let's see if there's some more messages from the guardian angels for you before we wrap it up. Libra rises, yes, there is. Oh, that one almost wanted, it's still sticking out. I might grab it anyway. Okay. Is there any other messages? Let's go. Yep. Oh, okay. Yeah, you want it. Yeah, and you? Okay. I think we're done. All right. So, I think they went something like this way. This one flew across. Okay. So, next one we've got. Move that sextile back in the frame. Dreams. Sorry if it's fuzzy. I can't see a thing through my phone camera, so I have to read it off camera. This is a wondrous time of healing and positive transformation. Sextile positive. That's what I was getting. Everything's working in your favor this February. Go for it. It's yours for the taking. Embrace life each moment and keep focused on your dreams. Dreams? Oh, well, that is too, because it's in Pisces. Retain the purity of your visions. Visions. Maybe you've got more than one dream, and that's fine. Perfect. Run with it. Retain the purity of your vision, and you will draw success to you. All you ever wished for, even that which seemed a distant dream, is about to manifest. Wow, and that's not the end. Creativity. There's your orange. Sacral chakra, creativity. Hopefully you're getting the idea, like the storyline like I am. I hope you are. We, your angelic messengers, are here to help unleash the endless creative, here we go again, creative potential that you possess. Listen to the whispers of love inside your heart as we communicate with you through feeling and emotion. Let go of fear and apprehension and express the endless source of creativity you possess. Have fun and allow the inner child within you to express your true essence. All is valid. Exactly. Don't you dim your light for anyone, because you've got a role to play here. It's not like it's not that I'm trying to sort of tell you what to do, or that you need to be worried that it's too big a task. This is something that is going to be easy for you. The sextile aspect is here. The conjunction, everything's working in your favor. That's all I'm seeing in this here. Encouragement. And that's exactly what I was saying just now. It's encouragement. It's only encouragement that's coming out for you for February, Libra risers. Your love is invaluable to the earth and to those around you. Even though you may not always see the positive effect your love has on others, trust, for it does. Each time you offer love through a loving gesture, thought, or word, you plant a seed of love, and love always generates more love. Trust and continue your loving work. Yeah. the balance of Virgo and Pisces. Positive change. Yay. See, it's all good. It's all positive coming through for you guys. Okay, dare to be different. When you are criticized, what we were talking about in the start there, when you are criticized, remember that you will never please everyone. Many brilliant and gifted individuals were not fully appreciated or understood in their own lifetime, yet it is often they who have sown the seeds of change. Yeah. And see, you're still here. Your lifetime is still happening. So you can still be recognized for this in a good way. It's all good energies for you for February and beyond. Acceptance. This is last but not least. There is nothing about you that you need to fix. Reclaim the disowned parts of you that yearn for love and acceptance. You are beautiful just as you are, regardless of any faults you may perceive you have. You are eternally radiant. You are an eternally radiant being of light. Accept all that you are and just be you. When you truly accept yourself, your whole world will magically and lovingly transform. Pluto is about transformation. And that's why I was saying there might be you might be holding back from transforming, but this is saying you've got nothing to fear. Get into that role. The discipline you've probably already got, with Virgo being in 12th house and Pisces being in 6th house Virgo things. Like I said, it's sort of they're both Virgo's there and Pisces there and there as well. So you've got a balance of both anyway. So they're not opposing each other. It's not difficult aspects. Wow. Yeah. Step into your role, because look, the universe is saying go for it. It is your time. Grab it with both hands. Yeah. Take it and run, because you've got a lot to bring to the world that the world will appreciate you for and show you that appreciation. So don't fear it. Step into your role with gusto is what I want to say. Okay,